In this video, we'll be installing Arknights Endfield on the Steam Deck so we can play in SteamOS gaming mode with cover art and full controller support. Before we get started, we need to make sure that we have an Epic Games account and we have the game in our library, and we can do this by logging in on our web browser on the Steam Deck or mobile. We need to make sure SteamOS is up to date and our Steam Deck has up to 80GB of free space available so we can download and install the game. There's a few things we need to do before we can install. First, we need to open our web browser in desktop mode and go to the official Decky loader website, Decky XYZ, and download the Decky installer to our downloads folder. Afterwards, we need to go to the GitHub page for a plugin called UnifiDeck, which allows us to easily play our Epic Games library in SteamOS gaming mode. We want to scroll down and go to Releases on the right-hand side and find the latest version, and download the zip file to our downloads folder. Now before we install Decky, let's quickly open the Discover store from our taskbar, and in the search field, press the X button on our Steam Deck to bring up the Steam keyboard and type Proton. Here we want to download Proton Plus and open it, and from the list of Protons available, we need to find DW Proton and download the latest version. Once DW Proton is downloaded, let's go back to our downloads folder and let's quickly install Decky Loader by clicking on the installer, going through the initial prompts, choosing the release version, and once complete, let's return to gaming mode. Now back in SteamOS, on the right hand side, let's open our quick access menu and go down to the plug icon for Decky. Choose settings in the top right, and we want to go down and enable developer mode. On our developer tab, we want to choose browse on install plugin from zip file, go to our downloads folder and choose the UnifiDeck zip file. Once installed, we're going to see it appear on the right hand side, and from here we want to log in to our Epic Games account. So we'll choose Authenticate Epic Games, log in with our username and password, and once we're done, we're going to go back to UnifiDeck, where we want to choose Library Sync, and sync libraries at the bottom. Once the library has been synced, we need to press the Steam button, choose Power, and restart the Steam Deck. And once restarted, when we go to our library, we'll see a new tab for Epic has appeared. If our cover art for games is missing, then just open UnifiDeck again, scroll down to Force Sync, where it's going to ask us to resync artwork, and now all the games will have artwork downloaded and applied. And we just want to restart the Steam Deck again for them to all appear. Now as long as we have added Arknights Endfield to our library, then the game will appear. So for now, let's access and choose Install in the top right hand corner and press Play afterwards. Now the first time the game launches, you'll see the Steam logo spinning for up to a minute before the launcher appears. Don't worry, this is normal, and the games folders are just being populated in the background. So once the launcher appears, let's press download in the bottom right corner, and by default the game will install to our internal drive. But if you want to install to a microSD card, then access the folder icon to the right of the path, choose the plus icon next to the / folder, go to the Run folder, Media, and choose your microSD card, and make sure to choose a folder inside that you've already created. And as long as you have around 80GB of free space, then the game will install there. But instead, I'm going to back out of this and install the game to my internal drive by default. Once the game is downloaded and we can see the play icon, underneath we'll see a checkbox in small writing that we can check to run the game in DirectX 11 mode, and I recommend checking this box if you plan on using lossless scaling. If we don't check this box, then we won't be able to use lossless scaling with Arknights Endfield. So once we're ready, let's launch the game, press play, accept the agreement, and here we want to log in to our Griffline account. I recommend using the email or Google method, but if you have a Facebook or Apple account, then you may need to log in through desktop mode first and return to gaming mode afterwards. And once we're all logged in, our controller will be detected and we can finally play the game. After testing all the settings over a few hours of playing the game, I've currently been using just the low preset with render scale set to 90%. And the game has been running anywhere from 50 to 70 FPS on the Steam Deck OLED throughout indoor and outdoor areas. Now before we finish, there's one last step I'd like to recommend to help protect the game long term. Games that use Ace anti-cheat can sometimes break compatibility after updates, and this quick step adds an extra layer of protection against that from happening. We want to go back to desktop mode and open Steam from the bottom right of our taskbar, find Arknights Endfield, choose the cog symbol, Properties, and in here, because we installed the game through UnifiDeck, we're going to see our launch command, which already says Epic, and a bunch of unique values. Now in the description of this video, I have placed a launch command which we want to copy and paste in front of this current epic command with a space afterwards. And this command is going to force the game to use DW Proton instead of the default Proton Experimental. The reason for doing this is because in the future, based on previous experiences with Ace Anti-Cheat, the game may no longer work on Linux and could take months to fix. So by doing this now, we ensure that this does not happen. So if you want to use DW Proton on its own, copy this command, but if you want to use DW Proton with lossless scaling, copy the lsfg command. So I'm going to copy the one with lossless scaling, and we need to make sure there is a space in between the final % symbol and epic, otherwise our game won't launch. So once the command is copied like so, let's return to gaming mode and relaunch Arknights Endfield, and when we're finally in game, we can use lossless scaling to double our FPS or stick to a solid 60 FPS. So I hope this video helped you with getting Arknights Endfield installed on your Steam Deck, and if you have questions about the game, please drop a comment below and we can all try to help one another. If you found this video helpful and want to see more content like this, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment and share this video with others. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Look out for one another and I'll see you later.